Welcome back. This is Andrea, and this is Andrea, and this is It's Not That Serious Weekly. And welcome back. How have you guys been? It's so amazing to see you here in this setting. Um, it's it's been a little while. We've been doing our like relaxed episodes with like your guys's input, your stories, and I just want to always thank you guys so much for your participation. It means the world to me. We still have to think of another topic for upcoming episodes, so as always, if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. If you are on the mailing list, the email list, then you received an email a couple weeks ago just asking if you guys would prefer the podcast like listening only or video, and the vast majority of you guys said you like the video because she's serving facial reactions. So we're gonna keep doing video. I was also looking into like how we are gonna publish this on just an audio basis, because I know I usually listen to my own like podcast that I listen to like when I'm driving or when I'm cleaning, but there are certain ones that I like to watch the video. So anyways, thank you so much for your feedback. I love you guys, mis hotties. So yeah, what's been going on, guys? This last weekend was Coachella. I think are they only doing one weekend this year? I choose not to participate in that. Darkness is not for me, honey. We pass. I went to Warped Tour when I was 14. That was enough for me. I had to get pulled out of the pit from the front during My Chemical Romance. Yes, baby, we were in the trenches. So that was enough for me. I'm glad it happened to me early in life. I don't need to live that life. But love that for you guys if you go. I got some really fun insider tea from some people who are like on the ground, like in it. They saw Candle Jenga Baboni. She said they were being touchy, but it was giving performative, not real. So there is a ray of hope, although I don't know what's worse. And you guys can decide on your own. I feel torn because this has given me the ick for Benito, and I don't know what to do about it. My fiance keeps telling me, like, stop talking shit about him. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, when you cross me, that's it. We can't go fucking back from it. But anyways, what is worse? Here's the moral dilemma. If he's actually dating her for real, okay, ew. Like, really? Really? They're actually dating? Or is he so affected that he's actually going along with a PR relationship? You tell me what's worse, because they're both pretty bad. And then there was also Coachella drama. Frank Ocean was set to perform. It was his first time in 6 years performing, and he apparently showed up like an hour and a half late, and there was issues with his actual stage and like setup, the set, that apparently he like had wanted like an ice skating rink at first, and then he like nixed that idea, so they had to melt the rink apparently, and that's why he was late. And there was like sound and audio issues, and they were saying like he only sang like maybe 6 songs during the whole set, and there was like long pauses of like complete silence, and like some of the songs like he wasn't even like really singing, it was like him dancing to, and then like they were kind of like remixes of other songs, there was no new songs, whatever. I will say I am a big fan of Frank Ocean, and I feel like since the beginning of his career, he's kind of been misunderstood. I'll never forget the year. I think Channel Orange is like 10 years old now. Woo. But that year that it released, and he performed at the Grammys. I think he performed like Forrest Gump. And I think that it wasn't perceived necessarily the way that he intended that performance. I'll never forget, like, he sat at the piano and it was like the video of like his legs moving and it was just him singing. And I'll never forget, like, nobody stood up to clap, nothing, except for like Tyler, the creator, was like the biggest advocate for him and was like standing up, screaming like just cheering him on. And I remember they panned to like Jay-Z and he was just like did not get it. My interpretation of his career and him, I love him. I'm a fan. I think that he's an artist that's misunderstood, and I think that Coachella is not necessarily the appropriate setting for like an artist of his caliber. Like I think maybe more intimate settings, and I think like they might try to like pigeonhole him into like a certain career path to be more mainstream when he really is just truly an artist and should be interpreted like the way he like intends, like intentionally like putting things out in his own way, and it's not about like the commercial success and whatever. So like I don't necessarily think Coachella was like the proper place for him to make his comeback, just given like how Coachella is now. But and then the last thing I heard from Coachella, and I just heard this like literally 5 minutes ago. I needed to do some reading on this. They're saying La Rosalia is pregnant, 2 months pregnant. I've been watching clips from her performance. I am fucking crying laughing at that guy that's like that she has sing that she's I posted it all over my Instagram story. I would mimic it, but I can't. That's my worst nightmare. Going to a concert and them having and the artist putting the microphone in my face and then you have to sing, bro. What's worse, going silent or singing? But congrats to the man who sang. I love that for him. He loved every moment of it, and we love that for him. He seems like a king. We love that. All right, this week's episode with this a little bit delayed, but with all the news that had been happening the past couple weeks with Miss Gwyneth Goopy Paltrow, I kind of wanted to do a deep dive into some of the most ludicrous shit she's ever fucking said. So, if you guys are not aware, she has a history of saying extremely outlandish, politically incorrect, inappropriate things for well over 2 decades. Like her quotes span her entire career, and she has been doing this since the early 90s. And we love that for her. She's kind of Anne Hathaway in a way that people loved her. This is always a thing. It's happened with Jennifer Lawrence, Anne Hathaway, Julia Roberts. It's kind of like when you become America's sweetheart, you get like shoved in everyone's faces so fucking much that eventually everyone just like they OD on it, they don't want it, and then you become like hated. And then it takes time to come back around. I think like we're seeing the resurgence of Anne Hathaway right now where people are like starting to accept and love her again. I think people forgot. People used to dog that woman so fucking hard, like especially after she was engaged to that scammer guy. If you don't know about that, I should do a whole episode on that. Anne Hathaway and her scammer fiance. We should do a whole fucking episode if you do not know. They even did an episode on my favorite show, American Greed, about it. Same thing's happening with Jennifer Lawrence. That's why you kind of see her like going away the past couple of years. Like people were just sick of it. It's like the relatable BS. It's giving very fakey. Like girls that are like, I love eating pizza and maybe just watching the sports games. Just guys. I'm just very relatable. I burp and I fart. I won't even say that F word. That's a foul F word. Ooh. So Goopy Paltrow has had that kind of same trajectory. Me using big words. Trajectory in her career. She was like beloved. She won an Oscar very early on in her career. She was one of the first people to be like a lifestyle blogger, wellness person, like the first person talking about like a public person, a public persona, a celebrity talking about like gluten-free, dairy-free, organique. She was one of the first. She's a pioneer of her kind with Goop. Everyone else, she's mother to a lot of these bitches. And people didn't like it at first. And now she's kind of the blueprint. I'm looking at you, Kourtney Kardashian. So let's get this going. I did some research for this one. And These quotes be given. All right, starting off strong. First quote, I am who I am. I can't pretend to be someone who makes $25,000 a year. All right, so she is a nepo baby. If you are not aware, Gwyneth Paltrow is a nepo baby. She's the daughter of the late Bruce Paltrow. He was a film director and producer, and her mother is actress Blythe Dancer. Blythe Danner, I'm pretty sure. Most of you will know her as being Ben Stiller's mother-in-law in the movie Meet the Parents. She's also done a lot of big things, but I was trying to think of like our age bracket that you guys would know. So yes, she clearly would not know what it's like to make $25,000 a year. She's only lived a life of privilege. Can we get mad at her for that? I don't know. I think sometimes the glaring honesty is very hard to digest, but it's the truth. So sorry. I don't fucking know. All right, number 2. You come across online comments about yourself and about your friends, and it's a very dehumanizing thing. It's almost like how in war you go through this bloody dehumanizing thing. My hope is as we get out of it, we'll reach the next level of conscience. I think that people typically do not agree with celebrities and privileged people relating to any type of, first of all, physical manual labor like war, girl, not war, the tabloids. You're relating that to the tabloids war, honey? No, it's just a hard fucking no from me. All right, number 3. This is one of my favorites. I'd rather smoke crack than eat cheese from a tin. And I wonder if old Goopy Paltrow has ever done crack, honestly. And I'm sure she's dabbled in something like meth adjacent in her lifetime, allegedly. Because she was definitely like a party girl back in her day, like in the 90s. She was hanging out. She was BFF with Winona Ryder. And you know, like Winona Ryder in the 90s, she was up to no good, baby. Wino was down to clown back then. She was up to no good. Number 4. My daughter gravitates towards fresh fruit and raw nuts, but will inhale a bag of hot Cheetos at the airport. It's all about balance. I mean, I don't think that's so salacious. And I don't really understand what's wrong with that. So I think there's something I'm missing. But yeah, people were scandalized by that. Maybe they were scandalized at the thought that she actually lets her daughter eat hot Cheetos. No, I don't know. Why aren't we so scandalized by such small things? All right, number 5. Moses is obsessed with hip hop and wanted a gold chain just like his uncle Jay-Z. All right, there's a lot to unpack here. All right, if you can remember in the early 2010s, there was a time period where Goopy Paltrow and her former husband, Chris Martin from Coldplay, Jay-Z and Beyonce were seemingly like inseparable. I don't know if you guys remember this. I remember this. This like imprinted on me. They were constantly being photographed together on vacations, at concerts, hanging out, even like sitting together at award shows. And Goop publicly referenced her friendship with the couple like constantly. Goop was even quoted saying that Beyonce inspired her performance in the 2010 film Country Strong, which leads to another quote by Gwyneth, which is, quote, Beyonce's like, okay, the singing is great, but you're not having any fun. She's like, remember when you were at Jay's concert and Punjabi MC comes on and you do your crazy Indian dance? Do that. Be you. So there is a lot of speculation that Goop is referenced in Beyonce's song Sorry from the album Lemonade as being Becky with the good hair. That infamous lyric. And just due from my scientific research, journalistic investigation, I think she's Becky with the good hair. If I had to bet, if you were like, bet your money and you had like, and they're like, bet money who it is and you have to, my vote's on Gwyneth Goopy Paltrow. Goop would publicly reference him as J. Sean Carter Z. And it's interesting because Beyonce's album Lemonade was released in 2016. This blind is from 2013, okay? And if you aren't aware what like a blind item is, just Google it. I've talked about them before. So anyways, there's many blind items referencing the inappropriate relationship between Gwyneth Paltrow and Jay-Z. This is just like the first one off the top that I found like very quickly. All right. And Goop and her former husband, just to give a timeline. Okay. This blind items from 2013. Lemonade, the album, came out in 2016, and Goop and her former husband Chris Martin from Coldplay split in 2013, which is also sometime around this like same time that the friendship with J and B like seemed to fizzle out publicly. All right, Friday, April 26, 2013, blind item number 3. This is from Crazy Days and Nights. This set of 2 married couples is an A-list, and they always used to do everything together. It was always a strange pairing of couples, but it seemed to work for them. Over the past year, though, there have only been 2 occasions, and on both, the wife of the lesser-known celebrity male was not there. Reason? She told her husband that she has a thing for the more well-known celebrity male. There have been rumors that the pair have hooked up. And there's many more where that came from, but as I say, where I stand right now, and she's addressed it since then. She has addressed it like publicly in an interview. She says that she is not Becky with the good hair. Gwyneth has said publicly she is not Becky with the good hair, but who would fucking admit to that? Who would admit to that? Right. All right, number 6. During the strict microbiotic chapter of my life, I ate miso soup every day for breakfast and sometimes dinner as well. She has shifted since from miso soup to bone broth, and I'm assuming because miso soup has too much sodium in it, and bone broth is gut healing. All right, number 7. I like this one. All right. I've lived in England for 10 years, and the accent is the most beautiful in the world, except for how you pronounce pasta or pasta instead of pasta. I'm sort of joking when I say this, but I really don't want my children speaking that way. She also once said, Apple says mummy instead of mommy. I don't mind that. I will if she starts saying basil and pasta. Basil and... No, how do they say basil? Basil? No. Pasta. In the English way. As that really drives me nuts. And I imagine my own mother said something similar when she moved us from Long Island to Connecticut when we were young. As I have no accent, you cannot tell me I have an accent. All right, number 8. I would rather die than let my kid eat cup of soup. This would be considered a hyperbole by definition. Or maybe she is being serious. She would rather smoke crack than eat cheese whiz. So. Number 9, beauty fades. I just turned 29, so I probably don't have that many good years left in me. She has a point there. All right, number 10. I basically love anything that comes in a hot dog bun, except for hot dogs. This had me confused. This statement had me really fucking confused because there are only like the only other food that I can think that comes in a hot dog bun but's not a hot dog is like a lobster roll, which I do, for the record, I do agree. A lobster roll is better than a hot dog. But I can't think of any other acceptable meal that comes in a hot dog bun. Does anyone know? Like, please comment below, like, what acceptable meal comes in a hot dog bun? Like, what is she talking about? I feel like she's never had a hot dog bun. She's just talking shit. Number 11. You know, I use organic products, but I get laser treatments. It's what makes life interesting, finding the balance between cigarettes and tofu. Again, that's what I'm talking about, my goofy girl. I'm about that life. All right, here are a few honorable mentions for quotes. Number 12, we're being human beings and the sun is the sun. How can it be bad for you? I don't think anything that's natural can be bad for you. She would not be a wealthy white woman without some medical misinformation. Number 13, I drink like crazy when Apple and Moses were babies. How else would I get through the day? I know this is so bad, but I love this. And I feel this in my soul. It's like looking into my own future. And anyways, as long as the nannies are sober, that's all that matters. Number 14. Taking care of yourself is being there for your kids. Like how on a plane, they tell you to put the oxygen mask on yourself first. Preach, babe. Number 15. I feel a sisterhood emerging around me. I'm less threatening now that I'm 40 and not 26 with an Oscar. There's a sense of love and support. We do tend to calm down with age. Number 26. Number 16. It's much harder for me. I think to have a regular job and be a mom is not as, of course, there are challenges, but it's not like being on set. I think it's so funny when people reference like regular jobs when they have never had in like any way, shape, or form carried on the responsibilities of a regular job ever in their life. Like, I know that Gwyneth has never had a job that she could get written up for. Like, a write-up. Girl, she'd probably write up what? A write-up? What? She's like, oh, you're on a PIP. Gwyneth, you're on a PIP. You're on a performance improvement plan. Like, she's never held a job that you would get written up if you showed up 15 minutes late without calling your manager. I will bet money on it. That and that she's Becky with the good hair. She's never had a job that she would get written up. Goopy's on a PIP. Goopy's on a PIP. And that's it. I think that, like a fine wine, she's just gotten better with time. And I know it's hard to swallow some of these quotes, but she's not wrong. I hate to break it to you guys, but she's not wrong. I love that for her. You know what I like about her that I find the most likable thing about her is that she is fearlessly herself. She does not give one shit what you guys think, because at the end of the day, she's still gonna run to the bank and cash that check, honey. She does not fucking care. I hate more than anything when celebrities try to be relatable. I don't want you to be relatable. I want you to be unattainable. I want you to say salacious, crazy things. I want to be scandalized. I want to wonder about you. I want the mystique, the intrigue, the enigma. I don't want you to be relatable. I hate that. Thank you guys. I feel like, did you guys learn a little bit about La Goopa? La Goopa Goopa. Should we all buy her vagina scented candle now, and we can burn it together in solidarity for our love and reverence for Goopy Paltrow? Real ones love Goopy Paltrow. Just saying. All right. Oh my god, short and sweet. It's like the same length of time as a sitcom on prime time. This is perfect. I have like a Met Gala episode coming up. I want to do this Anne Hathaway one now that I'm thinking about it. I love American Greed. I love Ponzi schemes. That's one of my favorite things. Anyway, send your suggestions for topics. Also for reader stories. And as always, it's not that serious. Thank you.